Hello viewers, my name is Chase Clover and this is my review on the October 19th, 2014 edition, USW pay-per-view entitled USW Caution 2014 live from Hartford, Connecticut. It was an okay pay-per-view, nothing to complain about. There were spots on the card where the match didn't seem worth it, but in the end, it kind of made its mark on the pay-per-view card. Each match had its own highs and its own lows, and that's what kind of made this pay-per-view even more interesting, as well as the matches on the matches on the card made it more interesting. So we should start getting into it. First match was the kickoff match, and it was James defeating Tallman Chris Ross. Also, one more time, or just once, I apologize for not having a preview prediction video out. I was sick, so I was not able to put out a video. And also I was doing something Saturday night, and we lost track of time, so... But anyways, the kickoff match, James defeated Tallman Chris Ross, and he defeated him after Chris Ross went for a boot to the face, and James countered, grabbed his leg, did this like twist or something, and then put it into a submission move that made Tallman Chris Ross tap out. The match lasted about 10 minutes. It was interesting. It had its spots. And it wasn't a bad match. It didn't hurt the card. None of the matches hurt the card. Maybe except for the way that they were booked and the way that they were booked going into this pay-per-view. But either way, this match was a good match. I'd say this was worthy of 3 stars, and I will now move on. Second match on the match card was for the Unified USW Tag Team Championships. Benny Franklin and Ezra Hills defeated Cannon and Prophecy to retain the Unified USW Tag Team Championships. Not much else to say about this pay-per-view. About this match. It had its highs, it had its lows. I don't think Cannon and Prophecy are gonna have a championship match shot again. Maybe they will at Bulletproof 7, but at that point I expect Cannon to turn on Prophecy. So I don't feel that they will be the tag team champions again. So it looks like Benny Franklin and Ezra Hills will hold on to those championships for a longer amount of time now. Cannon looked like he was about to win it with a cannonball backflip, but got kicked in the face by Benny Franklin off the top rope. Franklin shoved him back in the ring. Ezra Hills pinned him, covered him for the win. Prophecy tried to interfere, or tried to break up the pin, but it did not work, and Ezra Hills and Benny Franklin came out victorious with the championship belts. Decent match. I'd say it's worthy of 3 stars, like most of the matches on this card. And once again, moving on. Third match on the match card was Philip Akron defeating Simon Saint by submission. Akron was able to get Simon Saint in a sleeper hold, and that was the end of the match. It only lasted about 15 minutes, which was a long amount of time for one of those just normal singles matches on a pay-per-view card, but nonetheless, it was a very interesting match, had its moments back and forth. Akron dominated the match for most of the match, around maybe I'd say 10 minutes of it. But Simon Saint was able to come back in the end, but was not able to pick up the win over Philip Akron. So Philip Akron picked up the win in that match. I'd say that was also worthy of 3 stars. And now I will move on. Fourth match on the match card was for the International Championship, and Mojigata defeated Fernandez to win the International Championship. Something I have to say about this match. Glad that Mojigata won the championship back. I was expecting him to lose, and then Fernandez go on to face someone else, but now we at least get one more match between these two at Bulletproof 7, so that should be very interesting. It should be a good way to give Mojigata a real match and an actual opponent for that championship at the pay-per-view that he was at the first pay-per-view at the first Bulletproof 7, so at the first Bulletproof, and so it would just be fitting that he would be on the card at Bulletproof 7. and at least this guarantees that he will be on the card at Bulletproof 7, even though he already was going to be. Interesting match. Mojigator won with the Decapitator, as you may have thought. Lasted only a little bit above 10 minutes, and I'd say 4 stars. That was a very good match, and it was very interesting, back and forth. Mojigator just was able to pick up the win in the end. 5th match on the match card lasted about 20 minutes, and it was BP Fierce defeating Lane by pinfall. Fierce hit his finishing maneuver, or whatever it was, and then covered Lane for the win. Decent match. BP Fierce was dominant for most of the match. Once again, like the Philip Akron and Simon Saint match, Lane was in that Simon Saint spot, and he ended up coming back towards the end, but was not able to pick up the victory. So, good match and worthy of 3 stars. 6th match on the card was the no disqualification match for the Extreme Championship. Titanfall defeated Crimson Red to win the Extreme Championship for the 2nd time. Not much else to say about this match. Crimson Red had his spot where he put Titanfall through a table, and Titanfall also had his spot where he put Crimson Red through a table. He was just able to win with a chokeslam, and nothing really extravagant, but it was interesting. It was a good match, and I give it 3 stars because of the fact that these two actually had a good match, and it lasted almost 15 minutes, which was, I guess that was interesting, maybe. Maybe it was impressive, I'd say. That Titanfall, after only a short amount of time, was having a really good match against Crimson Red, who has been experienced, especially in the championship picture, whether it's the lowest grade championship, or the biggest, or the highest, whatever. Either way, I'm not surprised that Titanfall was able to have a good match, but I was surprised that he's been able to have this good match early in his, noticeable career. 7th match on the card was the Last Man Standing match, and it was Alex defeating George Martin. I think this was the final match that these two will have, and I think they're going to go their separate ways now. Unless they fight one more time at Bulletproof 7, just to give these two a reason to be on the card. Not much else to say about that. Alex won after a Swanton Bomb and Senton Bomb, and kept George Martin down for a count of 10. And Alex won the match. So 3 stars there. 8th match on the card was for the Blue Belt Championship. It was Anarchy defeating Ash to become the new Blue Belt Champion. That ends Ash's reign at, I believe, 77 days or something. Longest championship reign in the Blue Belt for one championship reign, for one reign, longest span of time held the championship in one reign, which went to Ash at 77 days. So that ends his streak, and Anarchy's streak begins now. 4-star match. It was interesting. Anarchy won after his finishing move, and counted after Ash's turn to dust to split to dust finishing maneuver, and Anarchy was able to pick up the victory. 9th match on the card. Not going to talk about it too much. It was Chain Reaction and then Go Child defeating TJ and Wilbur. They were able to defeat Wilbur, and they were able to hit this double team finishing maneuver and pin Wilbur for the win. 3 stars there, I guess. It wasn't a bad match, but it wasn't also that great of a match. Could have done better, but it's worthy of 3 stars. 10th match on the card was for the USW World Heavyweight Championship. Capital defends against YoYo Joe, and Capital defeats YoYo Joe to retain the USW World Heavyweight Championship. Good match. YoYo Joe hit the string effect on Capital for 3 times, I believe, in a row, trying to keep him down, and Capital wouldn't go down. He hit him, and then he hit YoYo Joe with the Capital punishment twice, and pinned him for the win. Capital defeats YoYo Joe to retain the USW World Heavyweight Championship. 11th match on the match card, main event. lasted about 20 minutes. USW Championship, Enigma defeated Lone Wolf to retain the USW Championship. This is probably the last pay-per-view that you will see Enigma at, being as Enigma is now possibly going to be coming back as Zach Hardy at Bulletproof 7, so we will see Enigma possibly turn back to Hardy at Bulletproof 7, which will be interesting. We'll be able to see him again, which will be awesome. So, good match. Enigma won after a spear and kept Lone Wolf down, and the show ended with Enigma shaking Lone Wolf's hand and Enigma holding the championship above his head in the ring. So, good match, good pay-per-view, and that match was about 3 stars. Like the pay-per-view, it was worth the money, and I'd give it 3 stars. So, that was my review of the October 19th, 2014 edition of USW Wednesday Night Intensity. Of USW Caution, of the USW pay-per-view entitled USW Let me restart. This was my review on the October 19th, 2014 edition of the... This was my review on the October 19th, 2014 USW pay-per-view entitled USW Caution 2014. Remember to like, favorite, and subscribe for more. I'm Chase Clover, signing off.